It's Wednesday morning at Isle of Man TT 2022. We've done the Tuesday stuff. The BM has already been turned around by my stunning pit crew, so that is ready to go again for tonight. And the next thing to do is a bit of tinkering on the twin. So the little twin, there are a few little bits to do. I tried a 41 tooth rear sprocket yesterday and it didn't really want to pull it, so we're going back to the 42. The shock is out because I think I can get away with a 125 rear spring, and Forrest on Eric's bike is going to run the 130 because I'm waiting for a 140 to turn up that might suit him better. Right. The weird little stuttery thing we were getting yesterday, Ben over at TJ, who has built a lot of these and has all the experience, has been doing this mod of rubber mounting the IMU. This is basically the gyro. So when you're at lean angle and you're hitting bumps, basically the shock from like the subframe and stuff is going through this and making it sort of go into a bit of a spaz attack. So we've rubber mounted that and cable tied it so it's got a little bit of movement, so it'll damp out some of the shock loading a bit more. So that hopefully will save this sort of the stuttering out. He's plugged into it and there's no sort of unnecessary fault codes or anything going wrong. Oh, and the other thing I need to do is when we put the gearing back, I actually need to go and do the calibration again so it knows what gearing it's on. It shouldn't matter because we've got the traction control turned off, but inside the brain in here, there is far too much clever stuff going on that sometimes is too clever for its own good. So we need to tick all the boxes. That's been done. The fault codes have all been cleared, and we'll do the calibration. And then if it's none of those things and it still stutters, then we'll look at the next issue. But hopefully this will sort it. We're doing as many things as we can. The boys are on the go with cleaning stuff. We've measured how much fuel's left in the tank. We are going to try a little bit of ballast on the bike because we're going to actually be underweight come the race. So yeah, it is ongoing.
And here we have Dave in his natural habitat. Sometimes he's happy, sometimes he's very grumpy.
Sometimes he shakes his head and wonders what his mechanics are going on about. Could I have a little rag, please, Gary?
Yeah. There we go.
Thanks. Could I maybe have a sheet of rag, Gary? Could I also have the answer to the question, what comes after Kate's cottage?
Right, hang on. Go away. This is secret stuff.
Gary's got another text message.
Has he?
Another text message, hang on.
So what we're doing here, Dave?
I'm altering the air gap slightly in the forks. And the plan is to make the air gap a bit bigger so we get like less spring effect towards the bottom end of the stroke. And it might just give me a little bit more feel in a couple of places. And it is a little bit of a try and see. I've been tempted to try it on short circuit and haven't. And it's not a massive change, it'll just alter the feel in the fork a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit of oil out of it, do the same with both legs, try and see.
And the answer,
Right,
Gary?
I've just answered my text message, so I'm free now. What was the question again?
What comes after Kate's cottage?
Craig the Bar.
Excellent. And the left-hander after the Craig?
It's Gobner Grey, or whatever it is, and then it's Brandish Corner.
It was a good text message you got there, wasn't it? Gobney Gay?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the little Ryan kink, innit?
It is, yes, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, and after
That's Brandish Corner.
And after Brandish.
And after that, I don't need to do any more now.
Do you not?
Proved my worth.
Okay, yeah. So it's like you go around Brandish and that's the end of the lap, is it? Yeah. Is it, Gary?
Hang on, got another text message.
Have you? So we've done our fuel calculation after a few laps of the course. And because we've been quite fastidious with our weight saving with all our lovely Jolly's carbon and our nice lightweight fuel tank and stuff like that, we're quite a lot underweight. So this is 5 kilograms of weight strapped under the seat unit because it's pretty much the only place on an Aprilia where there is actually room to put anything at all. And luckily, we've got a big hump in the seat unit, so it fits perfectly over this. And it's quite elaborate cable tie engineering, so this stuff is absolutely rock solid. And we are going to try it in practice so that we can make sure nothing falls off and nothing moves around. Yeah, spend loads of time and effort making a bike as light as you can, strap a load of lead to it. It is all glitz and glamour in the secret garage. The BM is in the van ready to go for Wednesday night practice. The twin isn't out until tomorrow night, so other than fairing and I'm changing a shock spring again, that's good to go. And then I've been outside and cleaned my leathers, so wet wipes are excellent for that. And I've also given my helmet a little bit of a polish. Shark don't actually have sort of paddock support here, so I've put some tear-offs, or put one tear-off on this visor. I've still got another one ready from last night that I didn't use, so that one's ready for tonight. I tend to not try and use too many tear-offs, firstly because it's actually quite time-consuming prepping a visor up, and come the race, if you get used to having flies on your visor, then come the race, if you're covered in flies, it's not that much of a culture shock. If you want to see some proper technical porny bits of motorbikes, the scrutineering queue is the place. So this is Pete Hickman's Gas Monkey BMW, and he's got the latest spec Öhlins forks with silly shiny calipers and bits on it. Whatever discs they are that somebody will know and I don't. The really, really nice bit that I like though is this big swinging arm at the back end. I mean, it's like the Forth Road Bridge, but I suspect considerably lighter. All billet linkages and bits like that. A shock that you and me probably can't even buy. Adjustable swinging arm pivot with lots of adjustment position, so you know exactly where you're putting it, and a nice bit of green torque check. It's all about the detailings. So that's it. If you want to see something really, really nice, you have to stand around with a load of slightly sweaty men in a queue. That's about right, isn't it? So, how's it going, Forrest?
Wonderful.
Radiant.
Everything's good. Everything's great.
I think the best thing about your sunglasses is I can actually see me in them.
It's not bad.
Bitchy. There are certain things you get on TT bikes, and enough grip on the tank to actually hold on, and then somewhere to put your bum so you don't have to hold on really, really tight down the straight. But that is a very extensive bump stop for a very small Japanese man. So yeah, it's really good to see Sweetie back out on that, and that is actually the bike he crashed, so the team have done real well to put that back together. Sam West is also doing alright, so he's hoping to get back out, but not on the bike that was on fire. And the newcomer lad over there, I think he disappeared off the side of the mountain, and by the scuff marks on the frame of the new engine covers, looks like they've been doing a little bit of work, but it looks like most people are getting back out again.
I'm not going out.
Are you not going out, Chad?
No, because Eric won't let me his bike.
Oh, is that because you're too short for it?
I can't touch the floor.
And you've only bought 2 shirts?
Love you, Dave.
If you want to see the spirit of 80s racing, what you need is Team Kibosh. Kibosh. Hey Rich,
Okay.
are you cool?
I'm in the shade, so I'm chilly here.
Ah,
I
yeah,
didn't pack a jumper.
well, and if you did, I bet it didn't say Kibosh.
No, I haven't stretched to the jumper department yet. It's just t-shirts and hats. Stick on moustaches.
Let's face it, t-shirts and hats, it is blowing the clothing budget for TT.
It is. It's blowing it wide open.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not very often you need a sun hat over here, is it?
No. Well, you would do if you have a hairline like mine.
Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Now I understand. So, if you're wondering, Kibosh is canned atmosphere. Oh yeah. So how available is a can of Kibosh? I hear it's bottled at source.
It's bottled or canned at source, depending on whether you crack a can or open a bottle of Kibosh, and it's about as available as
That energy drink.
Yeah, the energy drink that you can buy in all shops.
I've never seen a can of that.
No, can of Rich Energy or Kibosh.
Both.
Yeah, they're similar.
Yeah.
Hospitality suites are the same as well.
I could quite believe it. Is that hospitality suite over there? Do you think there's grass growing through the floor of theirs?
No. Ours is a tower van 4-wheel trailer, and there's a fold-out table in the back. But in a way, we're all cracking cans of Kibosh as we speak.
That is good to know.
The YouTube watchers are also consuming Kibosh atmosphere right now. Think about it.
So Rob's looking full Hollyoaks there, nice and cool in the sunshine. Bike is through scrutineering, and before I delete the stuff off my dashboard, so this is my lap data from yesterday and just what the dashboard tells me. So this lap was 19 minutes 16 seconds, and that depends when I press the button because I haven't got it on a remote. Right, the top speed was 186 mile an hour, average of 120, and a lowest of 17, because the bike thinks it's actually done, when you wait for it, 38.5 miles because there's wheel spin and bits to consider in the calculation. So this is just like the data that the bike does itself. So that's just to fuel a little stats from last night really. It thinks I did 120 mile an hour average with 186 mile an hour top speed. There's no massive changes for tonight, just a couple of little details. I've gone slightly softer on a front fork spring, just because I think it might work better, and we've put a new rear tyre in because the one from yesterday had done 8 laps and it basically had enough. So new rear tyre, slightly softer fork spring, and we're not short on fuel this year because the tank's slightly bigger than previous, so I've gone onto slick mode, not race mode. So we'll use a little bit more fuel because it'll use it on the overrun, but it might make the part throttles better. So that is the plan for tonight, is go and ride around in the sunshine and hopefully go even faster. Gary, what comes after Hilbury?
Your mother.
Oh, whoa, there's no need for that.
4 days I've had this. 4 days.
Well, that means there's only another 10 to go. We're now getting into like the normal routine of practice week. So normally we'd be out at 6:20. We're actually a little bit late tonight because they're giving the sidecars a couple of extra laps before us because they've missed some earlier in the week. But we're sort of getting into the normal routine of it now. We go up the garage in the morning, get the bikes prepped, or whichever bike we're using that night, get them loaded up, come down the paddock sort of mid-afternoon, not trying to rush too much. So we get down here about 3 o'clock time, gives us an hour or so before we're scrutineering anyway, so we can see a few people, chill a little bit, and then we can get bikes up there and sort of push them through scrutiny, and then we're ready. But the last hour before the session, which we're now into, a little bit nervous. There's always a few nerves before riding around this place, even though it is amazing. So I tend to come down here, have a bit of a snack. Even though I'm nervous, I know I have to eat, so I've had a banana. I've actually had a cinnamon whirl, which was quite nice. And I'm just going to make sure I drink enough, nip to the loo probably more than once, and then with about half hour to go, I'll put my leathers on a bit and have a mooch up the top. So far, our Sunday afternoon qualifying session was pretty good because there was no pressure at all. I just went and rode around and enjoyed riding around the island again. And so that was a good session. Monday, I wasn't particularly relaxed, and I just started trying a little bit too hard, and it was just scrapping. It wasn't very good, and I went no faster really than I'd been Sunday afternoon. And I sort of beat myself up about it. I got quite down about it. And then yesterday I decided, different scenario, we're going to, or at least different plan, relax a lot more beforehand, chill out, I know where I'm going, relax into it, and just actually enjoy riding around this place because it's brilliant. And then, because I was relaxed, I'm just, I'm going faster, I'm more relaxed on the bike handles better because I'm not clinging on for dear life, and I'm just spending more time with the throttle open and just trying to stay on the throttle as long as I can. And bit by bit, of course, then the speeds go up. And then I'm happier, and then I'm more relaxed, and then the speeds go up, so I'm happier, and then I'm more relaxed, and the bike handles better. And it all works better. Especially with this place, if you try, you tend to go slower. So you just got to go and enjoy yourself. So tonight was the utter highs and utter lows of TT. So we went out after the sidecars, knew the sun was going to be a bit low in the sky, it was a bright night, no wind so the bugs were out. First lap was pretty good, just working out exactly where the visibility was, because the sun's so bright on the run out towards Ballacrane that sometimes it's difficult to see sort of turn points and apexes and bits. My second lap was great, really, other than getting overtaken. That second lap was really nice because the bike's doing everything I want it to, and I wasn't rushing anything. I was just riding at my own pace, stringing it all together, really smooth, and just thoroughly enjoying it. And it was one of those evenings where you're almost floating. the bike's doing everything I want. It's pointing where I want. It's not getting out of shape, and I can go as fast as I like and just ride around and call it utopia or heaven or whatever you want to call it. It's this wonderful elation of a feeling that you're riding around this amazing island in this amazing countryside as fast as you want on your motorbike, and it's joyous. It really is. Then I came in, and because our session was a little bit late getting going, I knew we were only going to get one lap, so I didn't have to rush to get back out. So put a bit of fuel in, put a clean visor on because there was a lot of bugs. I just toyed with, do I go back out, because the visibility, like the sun was getting so bright, that I just thought, do I don't know, and then, but of course I did, because it's so good to ride around that you just sort of put up with the bits that aren't perfect and make it up for the rest of the lap. So I thought I'll use the opportunity, made a slight change on the bike, headed out, had my head down, and came up to Ballygarry. And just as I rolled the throttle off, I saw a marshal running with a yellow flag. I waved yellow, and at that point I knew that the incident would be at Ballygarry. It's the kind of place you can make a mistake and be very punished for it. So I anchored up as hard as I could because I knew the incident would be quite possibly just round the corner, slow down as much as I could, and I got round the corner and there was bits of barrier and bike and stuff in the road, and I knew straight away as soon as I went past it that it was really, really bad, just from the debris and where everything was in the road. And I managed to get through it okay, but I saw who it was. It was Mark Purslow, and 2 nights ago we were stopped at the red flag for Sam West, and we were all stopped at Lozère, and I didn't know Mark. Back the other night, I actually had to ask his name, but real nice lad, you know, chatted away for a few minutes, and you could tell he was doing what he wanted to do. But then to come round, and I'd seen the bike number on the floor, and I knew it was him. And you have that instant moment where you know what's happened. You hope you're wrong, but you know. And you go from this utter high, this utter utopia, to this crushing feeling in your stomach. And it's horrible. It really is. And then what you do is you flick the switch in your head as best you can. And you open the throttle again and you carry on. And it was never going to be for a committed lap. And then I knew the red flags were coming. And so we got stopped, and yeah, we stood around with the marshals again like we did the other night, and we waited for the travelling marshals to ride us back. And even on the ride back over the mountain with the travelling marshals, it's this bizarre situation because you're riding your favourite road, and I came round the corner at Brandywell, and I can just see all the way out to the sea, down the valleys, over to Douglas, and it's the most perfect view on a summer's evening. And you have a little moment to yourself, riding along in the best place in the world, but knowing what's just happened up the road. One of my favourite lines I've ever heard, and it was Steve McQueen, and he said, "The races I know aren't courting death, they're courting life." And he's right. Tomorrow, we'll go and do it again. And we'll hope for the highs without the lows. So this is first time back on the bike after fireballing your other bike.
That's right, yeah, first time back on.
Okay, hand all right?
Hand's alright, perfect, that one, never be better.
Excellent.
That one's still a little bit sore,
you,
but
you only need the right hand, don't you?
you need that one twisted wide open, that's it.
Exactly, yeah. I can't see any problems with anything that's going to happen.
Bingo, that's
Yeah,
what I'm going with.
excellent. Right, we'll go with that then.
with that, Dave.
You enjoy yourself.
You too, mate. Have a good session.
So, Rennie, the fastest man ever up Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Newcomer here this year. How are you finding it?
I don't know how much time you got. It's bloody wild. The most intense thing I've ever done by a mile. It's so hard to learn. There are so many things you have to learn. Like, you have to carry so much more speed in the corners to make the lap. You can't outride the course. Like, and you can't really outride any road race, like any real race. You couldn't really do that at Pikes Peak either. But when you're like, this place is just something else. The thing that you don't get used to unless you've done it a bit, I guess, is the overall just intense speed, how it's just so high all the time. But yeah, it's amazing. Way above my expectations.
The most important thing is, are you enjoying it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, you don't enjoy it at the time because you're so freaking. That actually happened in real life. You don't enjoy it at the time because you're so friggin' focused on, keeping it on the grey piece. But then you get off, and then the adrenaline starts to wind down, and you're just like, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
There's a couple of
I know.
Could you autograph my shirt?
Yeah, mate, no worries.
So here we go. 51 land speed records.
55, smart ass.
Sorry, 55 land speed records.
Yeah.
The fastest man up Pikes Peak, DT Newcomer. This is like, this is the meeting of worlds.
Alright, go and get ready.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
So a few days later, Jay, have you found Balaf Bridge yet?
Yes, I did find Balaf Bridge the day after I got hosed by this sweet little Manx guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still respect him for sending you on a wild goose chase.
You know what? It was a beautiful wild goose chase, but next day I'm at the Raven, eating some cod, drinking a pint. It was good. It was really good.
So you're enjoying watching the racing?
Oh, dude, I'm hooked. I mean, this gets under your skin. It's incredible. And there's nothing like it on planet Earth. And the guy behind this camera, he's a great personality, but he's an amazing racer. Anybody that races the TT, even if you're in last place, in my world, you're a gladiator, you're a rock star, you're a stud.
And I'll take that. And it was well worth paying you that bribe. So it is Thursday. It is Thursday, isn't it, Rob?
I haven't got a clue anymore, mate.
Right, we think it's Thursday.
Every day's the same.
It must be Thursday because we're out on two bikes. We're out on the Twin and the BM. Well, BM and Twin. Sidecars are out at the moment. And the schedule now starts to get busy because we've got practice this afternoon on both bikes. And then we've got practice tomorrow afternoon on both bikes, which means we've got a scrutineer tomorrow morning, which means at some point we've got to I do the riding around front bit, and then as a team we have to go and do some prepping of bikes again this evening.
I'm going to say, shut up, waffling, and ride that bloody bike.
Okay. Just done 2 laps on the BM. I think they were both 117 something. The second one was only a second or two quicker than I did yesterday. I tried some rear preload yesterday on the lap we didn't get, and tried it today, and over the white lines the bike just it's just taking it a bit firm. So over the white lines when you're on the gas, it just hits the white line and then just spins quite a bit. I'm taking the preload back out now. That's right. Spin in a minute. Gary can touch my helmet.
Oh dear.
Special treat.
I'm not cleaning his helmet.
Not after last time.
Made a terrible mess it did. Yeah, that was alright, that was. First time we've done sort of 2 solid laps back to back really on that, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
The
First flying lap.
The little glitchy thing is better, but I think it's actually fueling related. I think it's like, if you roll it and then snap it back on, I think that's part of the cause of it. So we'll have a look at the map in it tomorrow morning. Yeah, and I need to put a little bit of ride art in the back, because now that I've gone with a slightly softer spring, so Forrest can have my stiffer spring, it's just a little bit soft, and I'd just like it to just turn a bit more while I'm sat in the bubble, as opposed to just having to roll it to get it to load the front. So, yeah, detailing. A quick action throttle would be nice, because you spend a lot of time like that. Yeah, she's pretty good, boy. She's pretty good.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah, that'll do.
Are you happy, Gary?
I'm very happy.
Eric?
Oh, happy, yes.
I'm always happy, so
That'll do then.
that'll do.
So we're back from practice. It is all hands on deck, including the cat, because that cat's going to get employed in a minute licking flies off a set of fairings or something. So, because we're out tomorrow afternoon, so we have to scrutineer late tomorrow morning, we're going to struggle to have time to do too much prep. So that bike and that one both need prepping, so it's all hands on deck. It is currently nearly 10 o'clock at night, so not ideal for being rested, but better than having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do this, and I wouldn't sleep if I didn't think the bikes were done. So we're going to get at least a good head start on them. Wonderfully, Debbie, whose garage we've invaded, she's gone to get us some food. I'm going to take the fairing off the Twin and have a run through some of the stuff on that. Rob and Gaz are going to do the BMW, and before you know it, we'll be getting somewhere. It's all gone terribly wrong. My lock wire's gone wrong. It's like the world's worst slinky. It's a disaster. Right, Robbie's just finishing polishing up the BM. It has a fresh rear tyre for tomorrow because the one that was in it was okay, but it will do for warm-up laps on race days. So that is ready to go now. And if we move over here, Gaz is just finishing polishing up the Twin, which I've put a couple of Miller Radar in the rear because I'd just like it to turn a little bit better when it's on throttle. And again, it's had the usual check over. So, change, clean and lubed, everything cleaned, bolt checked, oil and water levels checked, and just a general look around everything. Because we've been doing this for a few days now, we are, you know, a well-oiled machine, or in fact a well-polished bike. Isn't that right, Gaz?
That certainly is.
That's it. It is dark outside. It is now near enough 11:30. We're going to load the van up, and then we'll go home and have some sleep.
Thanks for watching, and join us again soon for some more TT 2022.